All right, so we're on hidden messages. So you should be on the document called Hidden Message Poems. So I want you guys to notice up here that there are 4 different styles or poems. Can you scroll down and see that there are 4? The first one is this one called Escape. Then there's 3 more. Do you see those different styles? Yes. All right, so you don't need to worry about that yet. Go ahead and go back to the top. What is important to know today is that all 4 of these poems are about my arrival into Chile, when I moved to Chile. So what I'm going to tell you is that we have...
Escape from U.S.
Yeah,
That's the right. Look at the board over there.
I know, it's safe. So I'm going to tell you guys, I'm asking you to figure out when I arrived in Chile. These are all about my arrival. And the question I'm going to ask you today is this: when did I arrive in Chile? And I'm looking for you to give me an exact day. It's going to look something like this: April 12th, 2017. Except, of course, I didn't arrive that day. That's today. So your job is to figure out when I arrived. None of these poems tell you straight out when it is. But I have hidden messages the way authors sometimes hide meaning or messages in their poems. You have to figure out, perhaps by looking at lines, or words, or syllables, or the orders of words.
But Miss, you came here.
Hold on. Where or when I arrived. But Miss, I came here when?
5 years ago?
Ish.
Wait, actually,
Ish. But that's not as specific as I'm looking for. The information is in here.
Oh my God.
So, I'm going to ask you guys to divide up and look at these poems.
Okay. You write it.
Actually, we have plenty of time. Let's do the first one. Let's do number 1 together.
Escape 1?
So, we'll do number 1 together. Look at this poem, Escape. If we look at Escape, you might be thinking of lines, words, syllables, something that represents in here the date that I arrived. I'm going to give you a few minutes at your tables to talk about it. See what you start noticing. Are you noticing words? Are you noticing syllables? Are you noticing lines? See if any of those represent anything about when. Folks, let me pause for a second. Some of you guys are on a roll here. Some of you are not. I'm asking you to figure out the date, which means I'm asking you to think in terms of numbers. Numbers of what?
Months.
Could be months.
Yes.
Could be, yeah, but a date's represented in multiple things.
Day.
Days?
Month.
But what on the poem? Because it doesn't say, there's no month or number in this poem. So how can we find numbers?
Like counting the lines.
Like counting the lines. How many lines do we have?
4.
Okay, maybe. What else could we count?
Syllables.
Syllables. Okay. What else could we count? Letters. What else could we count?
Period.
We don't have that.
We have 1 at the end.
1.
2 at the end.
You guys have told me lines. And you told me syllables. What else could you count?
Vocals. Sentences.
Sentences. Vocals are those are vowels. We don't have that.
I know.
I mean, not just to count. You guys have told me lines. What are and syllables? That's the big chunk and the small chunk. What are medium-sized chunks?
Words.
Capital.
Words. So I want you to start noticing some of that and identifying. If you want to write certain numbers next to each one, or certain numbers out to the side, see what you come up with as you're trying to figure this out at your table. Go.
Math.
Try. So let's talk about what you found as you fill this out. When did I arrive here? Give me a second. All right, July. All right, what did you find?
July 5 of 2011.
July 5th, 2011.
We're not.
And how did you figure that out?
Because we're detectives.
Carmen was a detective too.
So, the first line has 7 words in it.
7 words.
The second has 5 words. The third has 20, and then the last one has 11. And since you're American, you write dates like like that.
So you know it's got to be July 5th and not
2011.
May 7th, right?
America!
How do you know you're not a great American and you study the laws and then you know that they say that
You don't know that, but that would be a big if.
And what if the other?
I'm gonna wait for you guys.
Okay.
But if they're a bad American, they wouldn't write it up. Like, they wouldn't have their own poem.
Does she look like a
But
bad
I'm gonna pause.
American?
I'm gonna pause because we have
10 minutes.
12 minutes of lessons still to go.
Thanks.
So I'm waiting on you. So you should have written down here that we counted what?
Letters by verse.
The words.
Not letters.
Words by verse.
Counted words per.
Second.
It's not verse. In Spanish it's
Line.
verse.
Yeah.
It's
So we're taking
lines.
a W.
Oh.
Counted words per lines. So now you know when I arrived. You know it's July 5th, 2011. But there are 3 other poems in there. Your job is to go looking at either poem 2, or poem 3, or poem 4 to try to figure out how the message of July 5th, 2011 appears in that poem. Pick one at your table to do, either 2, 3, or 4.
Let's do 4.
2, 3, or 4.
Not line. Line. Oh my god.
I hate
Here we go, here we go. So, what did you discover? Who did style number 2? Hold on. You hold on to yours, guys. What did you discover in style number 2? How is it divided? Paloma? By syllables. How many syllables are in this stanza?
7.
In this stanza that's all by itself?
5.
This one?
20. 11. Yay. You kill
Yay!
me.
You're so excited. I know, I can
I
tell.
hate this so much.
You don't like it? What? I'm hiding messages for
Do
you.
Wait,
Wait, this one's gonna blow your mind.
I figured out 2.
Oh.
No,
Wait.
not that one, not the
You have to be
3.
sure.
You figured out 3?
Like, kind of ish.
Okay, let's do 3. Did anybody else do 3?
I
Andy, you wanna try it?
So basically, I think
Oh no.
I'm just looking at
Take a guess. Just take a guess.
the first is
Stanza.
estrofa, like I don't know what
Stanza.
that thingy has 7 like verses,
Lines.
lines,
And then,
and
Oh,
there's
it's easy.
5.
what do you suspect is in this one?
Oh, man.
20.
I did it differently, but there's 5 like
There's 20.
whatever you just said, the estrofa thingy.
Stanzas.
That, but there's 5 like all the
But
way
you have to
down.
come up with the 20 and 11 also.
I know.
So, Ale?
There's 20 lines on that one, and the other one has 11.
Bro, how can
It was
you
obvious.
figured it?
It was
Cállate, bicho.
I just have to do the work, okay?
Alright, hold on. This one's
Make
gonna
this
rock your world.
Okay.
Make this more challenging.
I did.
Say it.
This one's gonna rock your world.
Okay.
This one, you guys, when that bell rings, you're not leaving.
It says
We
from.
are done. It does say family, which is a combination of the words family and friends.
Well, guess what?
So
this
this
is not
one
family. It's not
is
friendly
not-
also.
Guys, just be
I
quiet.
can't teach you. You guys
Yeah,
should-
routine. So you have to go here.
We're still talking. We'll just wait after the bell. This one is not about counting. It's about where your words are placed. Give them a hint first.
Okay, so
What should they be looking at first?
look for some numbers that like relate to what you've already found, like that relate to the day.
What numbers do you see?
2, 5,
5th,
7,
2,
12,
7.
2.
There's another 2 there. I'm not gonna leave it for a second.
11.
11, down there, 11. 20, where's 20? 20.
There's 2
And
hours
12.
at the top over the 5th.
You're not looking for what is the 2? What is the 20 usually?
Thousands.
What do you see here?
2011.
Keep
Now
looking.
notice where they're all.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
Oh my
What did you
God.
find?
It's already confirmed.
The day of the 7th month of 2011.
Oh my god.
I mean, like, technically, the first again.
It just is
I just blew your mind. I blew your mind,
You
right?
discovered life.
Okay, back up. Back up.
It says iron red.
If you're listening to this, if you're listening to this,
If you would give this to Albert Einstein, he will not find it out.
yes, you will. Listen,
No,
I need to
yeah.
tell you before the bell rings, and it's gonna happen.
Oh my god.
So the reason I'm showing you these hidden messages is some
No,
of the poems in
please.
your books might have a hidden message.
Oh my god, that is actually really
It doesn't mean you should count everything, and it doesn't mean it's always going to be a date. But if you notice, if you notice that your poems have a certain amount of syllables or a certain amount of lines always, you might say, Miss, I noticed something. I can't tell the message yet. Can you help me look for it?
I cannot, no.
So, some of the poems have these, or the counting, or the syllables, or the numbers, and I want you to be aware of them as you read
Oh my god.
over break.
And it goes the whole thing.
It does.